There is only one you. Hi, I'm HC, and watching this video until the end will help you understand yourself deeper than you understand it now. Stay tuned. Because we don't understand our own worth, it is often the case that we enter situations giving away too much of who we are. Similar to owning a portion of gold and choosing to sell it for a ton of sand in the desert. This lack of awareness not only encourages being taken advantage of, it also inspires confusion and hopelessness. Knowing how to recognize your worth will inspire better decisions, as well as help you regulate your time and energy so that you can purposefully allocate it toward prosperous endeavor. Knowing how to recognize your worth will also help you appreciate and honor those that already recognize your worth, thus inspiring greater relationships and deeper bonds. And this is why knowing how to recognize your worth is such an important factor on the journey of you becoming your best you. So, without further ado, here are the steps on how to recognize your self-worth. Step 1. Be mindful of the power of place. In this context, being mindful of the power of place is to be conscious of how a given environment shapes the way that you think, speak, and act, and then analyzing those differences against how you think, speak, and act in a neutral environment. This exercise will help you perceive, understand, and define your own presence. This is important because once you are aware of what you are, you will be able to measure what it is you contribute to a given environment. Being mindful of the power of place is also paying attention to your perspective of where you are compared to the perspective that others have of that same environment with you present. This means to question how the people around you truly feel about your presence. What are things said about you that you often would just ignore? Are they justified? If so, why? Or why not? Question the energy that you bring to a place and the subtle influence you have on moods and perspectives. This also means to acknowledge these thoughts and feelings and to not take how others feel or what others say to you for granted. When you can get a grasp of the energy or mood that you bring to a location, you can begin to understand and define that energy and recognize its worth. Step 2. Challenge your ideas of yourself. Challenging your ideas of self is an important step to recognizing your self-worth because it is the act of noticing and tending to your potential flaws and imperfections. Always remember, when we can accept who we are for who we are, then we can finally begin to truly be. The practice of challenging your ideas is similar to being a kung fu trainee practicing one punch over and over and over again. Yes, as the trainee, you understand that it is just a punch, and after a while, you pretty much get the idea of the punch and how to do it properly if asked to. However, by continuing to practice the punch over and over and over again, you begin to perfect the punch's form, completely understand its impact, and know how to perfectly gauge its distance from your target. This level of understanding only occurs when you continue to revisit what you believe you already know. This is the same thing for challenging your own ideas of self. When you can get to the essence of your thoughts and ideas, you can begin to get to the root of who you are. And the more you understand and accept who you are, is the better you can exist in your truth. This awareness and acknowledgement of your own worth is brought forth from that challenge. Step 3. Be mindful of what you allow. In this context, being mindful of what you allow is to be conscious of the predicaments that you put yourself in, as well as the predicaments that you allow yourself to stay in after acknowledging that you are not completely comfortable. Imagine being a houseplant that can walk and place itself anywhere in the entire house, but your options boil down to either being in the kids' room or the living room. In this circumstance, would you put yourself in the kids' room, which has little sunlight in addition to the threat of small children that could tip over your pot? Or would you choose the living room, which has a big window and no threat of children? Although it is true that even with a little sunlight, you would be able to grow, and it is true that maybe the kids will never knock over your pot. Would choosing the kids' room be creating the most ideal circumstance? If you had the choice, you are likely to pick the living room option, because why would you put yourself through trouble that you did not have to be in? Now adopt this scenario to your own life. Once you are aware of what you need and your likes from your dislikes, why choose to exist in an environment that is counterproductive to your growth? Why choose to tolerate the worst of what life has to offer if the option for better exists? We often put ourselves in or stay in predicaments where we are not being treated fairly, but we put it off in hopes that one day it'll be okay. But just like if the plant chose the kids' room, yes, as time passes, you would adapt and grow, but it is unlikely that these circumstances will lead you to becoming the best that you can be. The sobering practice of being mindful of what you allow will help you recognize your self-worth by helping you make better choices when the option is available. Step 4. Accept yourself. To accept yourself is to come to terms with your positive and negative attributes. It is also learning to appreciate the great things that you have done, as well as the not so great things. Because self-acceptance inspires expressing yourself honestly, accepting becomes the act of taking back power from the judgeful eye of others. This acceptance is primordial to recognizing your worth because it is appreciating that, as famously chanted by the notorious English Sri Lankan pop star MIA, there is only one you, and you are the only one that will ever be. Always remember, your greatest power is being you, and that you is so special that no one can out-you you. Similar to a rare gem that only exists in limited quantities, because the quantity is low, the value is likely to be very high. Therefore, just like a precious stone, accepting yourself is to treat and appreciate yourself like the rarity that you are. So that's it, Howell family. Those are the 4 steps on how to recognize your self-worth and to start moving forward today. Thank you for watching this video until the end. You are appreciated. Post a comment below to let people know how recognizing your worth has helped you on your journey. Like and share this video and consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. I'll see you here next time on Howell Consultations, the how to being true to you.